Welcome to the In the Deep podcast. I am Cosmic.
I'm Twist.
And today's episode is dog lovers or not. Let's get into it. So many Americans are infatuated with their animals, specifically their dogs. Let's get into some pros and cons of having dogs.
Pros, and pros is all I know. My pet is a little pup Morky. Her name is Saddie, and I am in love with her. She is my best friend. The best part about having Saddie is that she is loyal to the bone. Doesn't matter what you look like, what you smell like, what you're doing. She wants to be around me. I love it. And I know a lot of people don't feel that way, but for me, again, she is my best friend and she is my companion. Of course, she doesn't talk, but she says all sorts of things with her eyes. I just love it. Now, if I had to pick one con, I would say it's traveling is an issue. Yes, you can board the dog and things of that nature, but I would be just lost and so upset if she was in a boarding facility. She's never been in a boarding facility before. I think she'd have a nervous breakdown if I dropped her off and didn't come back for days. So I try to take her on the plane with me and wherever it is that I'm going. I always try to select pet-friendly hotels and, keep her with me. I love it, man. I wouldn't give it up for anything in the world.
Yeah. Let's see. As far as pros go for me, what are some pros to having a dog? I think dogs are great alarm systems, and depending on the size of your dog, they're deterrents from people up to nefarious activities. So those are some pros to having a dog. I do agree that when it's your dog that, there is that kind of companionship that people happen to find. I'm not a dog lover myself. I lean strongly towards disliking dogs, but I can be indifferent. It really depends. But dogs are not my cup of tea. They're not my thing. They're very dependent, very needy, very in your face all the time. You can't eat food without them sitting up underneath you, and you have to be mean to them. You see, and then you're wrong. Let the dog community say it. And also, I dislike that you have to, like Twist said not too long ago, traveling is an issue. Hell, you can't even stay out 2-3 days in a row without having to worry about, it's like having a kid. I don't have any kids. I don't want any kids. And that's how I view a dog. I don't like dependent people, and I don't like dependent creatures that depend on me for their survival. Also, having to take them out to use the faculties is an issue for me.
The faculties, the facilities.
The facilities. Their facilities. And, it's just cleanup. There are a lot. They smell like shit when they come from outside. I don't like that. I'm a big aroma person. I don't really care for to smell animals inside the house. I think that's terrible. I think that that's not a good thing. I am an aroma type of person. I don't care for smelling animals at all. Hell, if I smell them outside, I'm trying to get to where there's some clear air because it's just not my thing. It makes me sick. I don't like it. I don't care for it. Also, they're expensive. Dogs are very expensive. You have to pay to get them this medication, that, and don't let them have any personal issues that they need treatment for, different items and whatnot for.
What do you mean personal issues?
Personal issues. Some dogs have like arthritis.
Oh, you mean medical
and
issues.
Heart problems, right?
Yes,
and you have to pay. So that's extra money coming out of your pocket. And I know some people don't mind because, it's a companion thing or whatever. I don't need that type of companion. I am much more of a cat person. Cats are independent. They don't want to be up on you all the time. They might want to be in the same room. It's like, you're over there, I'm over here. I see you, you see me. We're in good company. We don't have to be all snugged up and bothering each other. I don't care for it. And you can leave a cat. You put some food, water, and clean their litter box up. They're good for at least 2-3 days if you want to do whatever it is you want to do or whatever the case may be.
Well, a lot of those things you say are true. However, to me, the loyalty and the companionship that dogs provide is well worth it. Yes, they are expensive, and I don't suggest anybody have a dog when you can't afford it, because they do need to get their shots, just like a kid, like you were saying earlier. All of those things are required. My pup, I have to have her groomed at least every 6 weeks.
And then that's another thing.
She is a hypoallergenic breed,
which is,
and meaning that she doesn't have dander. And also, she does not shed. So, but her hair does grow long. So I do have to get her groomed every 6 weeks. Plus, I just like to have her, nice and short and clean.
And that is another thing. Dogs shedding. Although, like Twist said, her dog does not shed. And that is a plus. That is a pro. That's a big pro. If you're going to get a dog and shedding bothers you. It's like, I hate going over to somebody's house or getting into somebody's car and you're all dog hair.
Hairs everywhere, exactly.
It's like, you fucked up my fit. I don't even get dressed like that. And see, the one time I do, I am dressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't.
I understand that, and I feel the same way. That's why when I was looking into getting a dog, those things were important to me. And I didn't really know about dogs. Not like I've learned with Saddie. I always had a dog that it was in the backyard.
As it should be. It depends. It depends.
The dog never came into the house. If it was raining or bad weather one particular day, my mom would let the dog come in and go through the house to get to the garage. But that was really about it. I wouldn't have a dog now outside. To be honest, I think that is cruel punishment to keep a dog outside in the elements. It's just not something I would do at this point.
Yeah, I hear you on that, I suppose. There are so many cons I can think of, guys. Depending on your dog, you can't have any company or anybody over because some of you, your dogs are aggressive, and others of you, they just bark a lot all the time for nothing. And yeah, it's just so many. I'm just not a dog person. I think dogs overstimulate me. I don't like to be I do like extreme stimulation, but with certain things, it's almost like when I like something, I like it. And when I don't like something, I really don't like it. And there's just too many things that I just don't like about dogs.
Well, what's interesting to me is that you just said that they bark for nothing. I would beg to differ on that, because dogs have an ultra sensitive hearing. They can hear things that we can't. So you don't know what they're barking at. They could potentially hear something that you don't know about, or you don't realize what's
I'm speaking
happening.
From experience, I'll say. When it comes to Saddie, for instance, she acts like she doesn't know who the fuck lives in the house. So say Twist and her downstairs and I'm upstairs and I do a quick little or something, all of a sudden she thinks somebody's at the door. It's like lacking intelligence.
Well,
it's
how
like,
the hell does she know where the noise is coming from?
You just said they have this exceptional hearing, which means just like...
It doesn't mean she knows who's making the noise. She knows there's a noise.
No.
But how does she know who's making it?
Just like we can differentiate whether or not there's a noise outside or a noise inside. Well, and
you can't expect her to know who's making the noise. How does she know? How does she know somebody's not breaking into the house?
It's lack of intelligence for me. I am very aware of my surroundings. I can identify if somebody's breaking into the house or not. It's just not necessary for me.
As you guys
it's not
see,
bad.
I'm very sensitive about my dog,
and we're going to get into that also because it's not a con to dogs per se. But that is something we definitely want to get into. So yeah, guys, that's my only, those are some of my short list of a very long scroll of cons that I can think of dogs. Positives, guys, I can't think of too many. I mean, like I said, I'm not a dog person, but I think it's cool that if you want to exercise or if you really need a companion like that, then I think that that's a great thing. They say having something like a dog or any type of pet, it'll keep you alive longer, having something to live for. So, not knocking it to the people. I'm knocking you a little bit, but not knocking it to the people who, are about your dogs and everything. But it's just not my forte.
For me, it's not the fact that I needed a companion. I think Saddie was the companion that I never knew I needed.
So you needed the companion. So yeah, same thing.
Well, but
it sounds pretty how you dressed it, but it's same thing.
But I didn't intentionally think, hey, I need a companion. I'll go out and get a dog. That wasn't the whole idea of it.
Right. I see what you're saying.
But once I got her, I was like, oh man, I've been missing out all these years.
And another con, guys, training. Dogs need to be trained. Some of you need to pay money for that, depending on your dog. Others of you, it's a process. What is it, 1-2 years worth of training?
It took me about a year to completely train her.
See, and then that means your house is going to be a little pissy and shitty and all of those things. I'm just not good for that. I just don't. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of, I'm up in the middle of the night on my way to the kitchen or the bathroom and I step in a damn puddle. It's just kind of like...
That's never happened, has it? Not with Saddie.
Absolutely. When in the beginning when
she was a pup.
Well, that's what we're talking about, because you're usually a puppy when you're getting trained in the first year.
Yeah, but a lot of dogs never really get trained fully.
So that's not my thing. And then your socks wet. And that's just not a good feeling. It's not good. I don't like it.
Well, I think that's coming from, like you said earlier, a person that doesn't have kids. Because as you're a parent, you kind of get used to changing diapers. You get used to cleaning up throw up. You get used to doing all of those things.
But for me, there's a difference. We'll get into that. I'll get into it more later on. But there's a huge difference between my kid and a dog. There's a huge difference between a dog and a human being. But like I said, I'll talk more about that later on.
It is different, but the love, there's just love. You love this person, you love this creature, this animal. If you love something, it doesn't bother you. That's how I have come
That's how you look at it.
That's how I have come to see it. And I remember I was at my best friend's house and she had a dog way before I did, as far as an in-house dog. And she said that to me. She was telling me.
She said what?
She said, but it's just like a kid. It's just like your kid. You love it, so you just clean up after it, and just like you would with any kid that you would have. Mm-hmm. And I thought at the time that was a ridiculous statement, to be honest. But then because once I got into the situation, I was like, okay, now I understand what she was saying. It kind of is like that, because you love this little animal so much that they have accidents, or they use the restroom, and you have to make sure that you stay on it. So they're not going in the house. They're not having accidents. You guys get into a routine. You just have to be responsible with your responsibility.
For me, my love's not that fluid. It's very, and this is something I guess I'm just figuring out. It's very compartmentalized. It's like you're an animal at the end of the day. So it's like, am I fond of you? Sure. But are you, it's like, it's not as deep as, oh, this is my kid. It'll never be. Even with the cat, I wouldn't feel that way, guys. The cat, I'm like, you're a cat at the end of the day. I'm not going to attach these human emotions to you that, for all I know, you don't. To me, in my mind, it's just, I can't make it make sense. But that's the pros and the cons for dogs. Any other cons or pros that you can think of?
I think that as far as cons go, you could potentially say that a con is, carpeting, stuff like that. Like you said earlier, when you are training, you have to be vigilant on taking care of your dog. So does it require you to do things that you wouldn't normally do? Yes, because if you don't, then your house is going to smell like dog. People that come in are going to automatically know you have a pet.
Or even when you're outside and wearing your clothes.
Yeah, there's just, those types of things. So yes, as far as does it give you extra chores? Do you have to, be cognizant of how your dog smells? And that's why I take mine to the groomer every 6 weeks. Only because I want to make sure that, my house doesn't, smell like I have a pet.
And how much do those groomer trips cost?
Well, depending, if I get her teeth brushed and her nails clipped, and she could have, special oat bath. It just depends on what she's getting that particular day. On average, about $70.
$70. It's not bad, guys. We spend $70 on a lot of things we don't need, but at the same time, $70 on this animal creature.
And too, she's a little dog. So she's about 8 pounds. So I would imagine for the bigger dogs, maybe it's a little more expensive.
True.
I don't know. And some might say that some of the cons, like you were saying earlier, are the vet bills, because she does need to get her shots, every year, sometimes twice a year, depending on kennel cough, that sort of stuff. And that can get expensive. But and her, flea and tick meds, heartworm medication, those things are expensive. But when you take on the responsibility of being a dog parent, you are taking on the responsibility of making sure that they remain healthy, and you take care of them the same way you would yourself and your children.
Speaking of parenting, that's my next topic. And, I think this is going to be a pros and cons kind of day, guys. But we want to go over a couple of different things. When it comes to dog parenting, some people, you're way too aggressive in your parenting with your dogs or whatever it is you consider yourself doing. It's like, I remember recently I was getting food from this Mexican restaurant we really like. And I was next to this guy. He was like in this Suburban. And, he's telling the dog, I don't know who he was talking to at the time, but he was like, get the fuck on the floor now. I can't. And he just was going off, like being so like aggressive. And at first I'm thinking like, oh, is this supposed to be is there domestic violence going on at first? But then I realized it's a dog. Way too aggressive. It's way too much. I do believe you need to be stern with dogs, and they do need to be popped from time to time if necessary. But at the same time, guys, it's like I was saying earlier, that's an animal with lower intelligence than you. You should chill out. I understand the feeling, though. Don't get me wrong. I understand the feeling, but it's too much. Others of you don't parent enough. It's like the millennials raising Gen Z and Generation Alpha right now. It's almost like you guys, parenting is just out. It's non-existent. It's out the window. And that's another thing. I think that dogs should have a particular etiquette, especially when not only within the house or within the people in the residence, but also when company comes and all of these other things that you guys, I feel like people who are dog owners, they really slack on. And it's very upsetting, depending. It's like, I won't, right now how I feel, if you have a dog at your house, I'm not coming. Well,
I think all of that comes with training, how you train your dog. For example, my dog is like, she basically does whatever she wants to do for the most part. She's a good pup, though. She doesn't tear up anything. She doesn't bite up the furniture. She doesn't tear up my shoes or anything like that. But does she sit there while you're eating? Yes, she does, because she thinks she's gonna get a morsel or two. She does do that. Does she jump all over the furniture? Yes, she does. Does she bark at the guests that come over? She does. But what I usually try to do is pick her up anytime there's someone strange that's coming into the home, and just kind of say, hey, this is Saddie, and let her, know that it's okay that this person is in the home.
But that's great great for you, but I've known people who have big ass dogs that are aggressive and they just kind of let them roam. They know that they're going to run up on folks and be barking at them, jumping on, you know how dogs will jump on your chest and bark in your face and stuff like that. It's like, I'm not into that at all. I am not one of out here talking about I do not like that at all. I really don't like it. If you don't know how to keep your dog in line, then it's like I feel some type of way about you, because it's crazy. We're gonna get into something I have a particular story that I would like to share here a little later on. Yeah, guys. Parenting, a lot of the time it depends. It wavers. Some people, the way that they have trained their dogs really doesn't makes me really, I'm not gonna say like dogs, but I'm like, oh, okay, the dog's cool. The dog's cool, It's not
so
super.
Basically, you're saying if the dog is well mannered, you're okay.
If the dog is well mannered, for the most part, I'm okay. Because at the end of the day, I do recognize it as a life form. But stay in your lane. I'm not all, I don't like a whole lot of. But if your dog is well mannered, yeah, I can get a ball out of the dog. I really can.
My dog thinks she's a person. She does, and she thinks that she has a space on the couch just like anybody else. So yeah, she does, and that's my fault, because I allow her to do that. And also, she's never known a kennel cage. She's never been placed in one of those. She's always been free to kind of roam around the house. And, it's just what she does. And I have no problem with it. But, I know Cosmic doesn't really like it, but it just is what it is.
And another reason why I decided, if you have a dog, I'm probably not going to your house, is because I also do feel like, well, damn, it is the dog's house. It's like, why does the dog have to get put in the cage or in the backyard just because I'm there? I do feel like that. So, it's kind of like a solution for me, because it's like, I don't like the dog. I don't like unwell-mannered dogs anyway. And I don't feel like the dog should have to be jailed to fit. I feel some type. I don't really like that. I really like things to flow in the environments that I'm in. So I don't really like for people to have to, change too much of what they have going on. But it is up to me whether or not I choose to deal with you in that manner. And
as far as dogs too, I don't let my dog lick my face, or lick me all in my lips and all of that kind of stuff. I know a lot of people do that, and they think, I want to kiss my dog. It's like ridiculous. That I don't do.
Y'all, I got a story.
But to each his own. To each his own. I don't look down on people who do that with their dogs. That's that.
I do.
Do whatever makes you comfortable. That's kind of how I live my life.
True.
Do what makes you happy. If you like it, I love it. But I'm not going to do it, I do love my pup very much.
I definitely carry that same motto, If you like it, I love it. But, my initial thought, that's after that's after the initial thought falls through the filters. But my initial thought, I'm judging you. I'm judging. And it's like at the end of the day, I don't care. But that initial, you see my face turn up. Don't mind me. It's like, I just got to process what I've just heard or seen. But I'm judging.
Yeah, well, you know what? I have thought long and hard about this. I'm recently out of my second marriage, and have had thoughts of dating, but nobody is going to put up with my pup. I can tell you that, because she's everywhere with me. Wherever I am, she is.
A dog person may.
Potentially. If they would have to,
I said,
they need to have an app, pet lovers only or something,
something like that. But to be honest, people like me, I feel like are the minority based on the people that I've had conversations with or that I've been in interest with. People love dogs. A lot of people have their dogs. For me, one thing I would like to bring up at before we get into that aspect of things, though, is dog personalities. Now, this is something that I get a kick out of. Dogs have so many. They're just like they are just like people in this sense, where they do have their own personalities and they make these facial expressions. And sometimes, I've seen some really smart dogs. I don't think Saddie's got all the intelligence in the world, but I've seen, on TikTok and whatnot, you see some really smart dogs, especially, and some really understand English for the most part. It's like they have these things, these pads that you put on the ground and buttons, and they say different things or whatever.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and the dog will communicate through the thing.
Yes.
And it's like, I've seen them say so many different things. It's like, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's just, dog personalities. That's one positive to dogs.
They say that dogs take on the personality of their owners.
Interesting.
That's what they say.
You think so?
That's what they say. That's what science says. That if you're laid back and chill, your dog will most likely be laid back and chill. Of course, it depends on the time you spend with the dog. If the dog's outside versus in the house, then who knows how that would turn out. But look at Saddie, for example. Saddie just chills out with me. She lays there. She's not aggressive at all.
She's not.
She's just a very laid back, kind of dog.
I wouldn't call her laid back, but she is not aggressive, yes.
So why wouldn't you call her laid back?
I wouldn't consider her laid back. A cat is laid back. They're chilling.
No. Well, we're talking about dogs in this particular instance.
I've known dogs.
Say that she's chill.
I've known dogs to be chill like cats are as well. This dog is not chill. She's what do they call her? She's hyperactive. There are times where she is chill, like she has her moments, but I wouldn't say that's her whole personality.
Well, she does zoomies a lot. She gets zoomies and she's like, tearing up her little chicken and stuff like that. I look again. You like guys can see I get real sensitive about my dog.
Like I said, though, she'll be jumping all over you all the time. Chill dogs, you're just chilling. You're just sitting there. They might lay against you or whatever, but they're just chilling. They're just there. They're not like all energetic and whatnot. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you like and what you're into and what you feel like you need. I don't like that. Like I said, it's a bunch of stimulation that I could really do without.
And then, another thing, I think a lot of that energy comes with age. The younger they are, the more energy, the more playing around they're going to do.
That's true.
The older they get, the more chill they become.
That's true.
So, yeah, it just all depends, My pup definitely does have her own little cute personality. When she's like upset, when her feelings are hurt.
You do.
When she's getting ready to like feel deserted, she has separation anxiety. So when you're getting ready to leave her, like if both of us leave the house, she's looking like, please don't leave me. So she's just the cutest thing. I think it's like fantastic. I know you don't care for it, but I think that at some point, if you decided to get a dog, I think you would see where
I would never get a dog.
You might date somebody that has a dog.
I would not.
That you really, really like, and you'd be willing to take that dog on.
I'm glad we brought that up actually, because I have a story. And here's the thing about dating with dogs. Like you said, you need something. There needs to be an app for dog lovers. But like I said, I feel like people who don't like dogs or who mind dogs are the minority of the population. Even if, you're not a super dog person, you don't mind the dog. I mind dogs. And it's been a learning experience for me. I actually dated this girl not too long ago. It was kind of long ago. It was about 3-4 years ago. And, she was cool. She was cool. And we get to her house or whatever. I went over to her house after work and we're chilling in her room. And, that was cool. We're chilling. We smoked, talked. It was great. Then she brings her dog in from outside. Now I realize this dog's been in the backyard all day. And you guys know, I just showered. I'm all fresh and smelling good. The dog's been outside. The backyard's not grass. It's mostly dirt. Outside all day. I know if if you leave a dog outside for 10 minutes, hell, less than 10 minutes, and the dog comes in, it smells terrible, especially when it's hot outside. She brings the dog. Oh, I have to go get my dog. I've also made it very clear how I feel about dogs to this girl. And I was like, I'm not really a dog person, but if the dog is chill, I'm chill with it. It's cool. Y'all, well, she brought the dog in, and why did it look like she just picked the dog up from an alley? It looked hungry. It was dirty, had little grass on it and everything. And the dog's all up in the bed. Like I said, been there all day. Not only is the dog in the bed, I'm sitting there, like I said, all smelling all good. And the dog is all, coming over to me. All up on me to the point where its front feet are on my stomach, right? And I'm yeah, you guys, I'm leaning back. Like, I'm leaning back and I'm like, I have my hand out like I'm kind of pushing the dog off of me a little bit. And I'm looking at her and I'm looking at the dog and she's just sitting there staring at me.
You're looking like, aren't you going to say something?
No, she didn't have an expression on her face. She was in an observation mode, if you will. She's just watching me. I probably sat there like that for 3 minutes. I was pissed at this point. And like I said, of course the dog smells. And I don't like to be an asshole, especially when you're first talking to somebody and stuff like that. I can come off extremely abrasive. So, I'm kind of sitting there like, okay, like, why don't you care that I'm uncomfortable? Because if it were you and you were uncomfortable, I would immediately fix the situation. She did not do that. The dog's kind of trying to leg me and thing on. I'm really pushing the dog now at this point. And after those 3-4 minutes, she finally says, "Oh, okay, come on, so-and-so. Come on. He's not used to you yet." Dog's licking all on her face, on her mouth. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, what the So at this point, that's ruined the night for me. So I'm probably there about 30 more minutes. And then I'm like, okay, well, I think I'm going to head out. So it was time to head out. I get ready to leave. Why does this girl kiss me on my mouth? I was pissed.
That's hilarious.
I was pissed. I played it off. I was cool because, I'm a gentleman. And I played it off and I got in the car. I was so livid, guys. I probably brushed my teeth like 3 times when I got home. It was just kind of like, it's just so inconsiderate. It's so, and that really kind of set the tone for me when it comes to dealing with people who have dogs. Even if you're well-mannered, I'd be real hesitant to, first of all, I'm probably not even going to give you the chance because one of my first couple questions is going to be like, how do you have a dog? And most of the time you don't even have to ask. They're going to tell you. And see my dog, or I'm gonna buy this for my and as soon as I hear that shit, my interest is immediately gone. I don't want to deal with it, especially because of Twist too, and knowing how she is with her dog. I do not want to deal with that. That is something I'm not here for. I don't got time for no fucking excuses.
What do you mean? Like go into that a little bit more.
I don't got no time for no excuses of how, they do this, but they're still a good pup, and they do this, but they're still my boy or my girl or my best friend, and I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. If you don't see this animal as an animal, and you're taking this animal on as like this, like you said, your kid, or you're another human being, if you will, or anything like that, it's not for me. There's plenty of dog people out there in the world. I think that you're better suited off with a dog person. I think it would cause arguments. It's like the dog does something, and then it's like, I feel like you didn't do what you needed to do about it. And then so now our situation is gonna be in dismay. It's just I don't see it being a good situation. Like I said, you have a cat. I don't give a damn if you got 3-4 of them. I'm coming over. I'm hanging out.
Okay, but
as long as they don't smell,
And cats shed crazy. Cats shed like crazy.
My experience with cat shedding is only one, to be honest. Most cats that I've been around and encountered, they did not shed. The ones I've been around, but there's one in particular that did live with us for a long time. That cat did shed, but a lot of the time Cats don't. The cats, like I said, I've encountered. They have not shed, or they don't shed.
And you have to be diligent with a cat, because you do have to make sure that box is clean, because that will make the whole house stink.
That's different. I don't mind that. I don't mind the box. I can clean the box. And then, you have the little scooper. Hell, these days, you have the self-cleaning one.
Yeah, you do.
Slide
Again, if you want to spend that kind of money, yes, they are out there.
Slide it, right? You don't even really have to do much but fill it up with clean litter. I don't mind doing that. I don't mind doing the litter box at all. I don't believe cats belong outside either, but this is not a video about cats. Dating with dogs. That's one of my biggest things. I would not be down to do it, Even if, I just can't see it. I can't see it because I know what dogs mean to people who have them, and like I said, I'm not even trying to cause any waves like that. I would much rather leave you all the way alone than to try to come in and
change the program.
And change your program, right? I think that's whack. I don't think that's cool.
Yeah, I agree with you, because look, I'm gonna fight you behind my dog. No, that's real.
But like I said, we're gonna see the relationship is gonna be strained because of this dog.
Yeah.
So even if I really, really liked you or anything like that, it's just at the end of the day, it's not cohesive. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand that, and I think everybody has their right to feel that way, and all of those things should be talked about up front, because pretending to like the dog or pretending that, that's something that you can overlook, ultimately, it's not going to work. If you don't like pets, it's not going to work. So
right.
I don't want to date anybody or even start any kind of relationship with someone who doesn't like dogs in the house, or who doesn't, have some sort of affection for dogs. It's just not going to work for me.
And then a lot of people, they like to sleep with the dog in the bed. And I'm not super, like, when I think about it in my head, it's not a problem if like I said, the dog's well-mannered, yada, whatnot. If the dog's on the bed, like, foot of the bed, I don't really understand why the dog would be in between us, or you see what I'm saying? Like, I just that throws me off a little bit. Or it could be on the side of one of us, I don't think that the dog should be so intermingled in such an intimate, it's intimate sleeping with someone.
Yeah.
And,
I agree.
just regular sleeping, and so it's like, it's a little, it's off-putting to me. I know that, what's his name?
Who? Shannon Sharp?
Shannon Sharp is big on sleeping with his dogs and whatnot. And I think he put out a statement saying that if the woman is not fond of the dog or whatever the case may be, she can go. And black women, ate him alive.
His ass, didn't they? But look, and this is what kills me about people too, because he said that about his dog. Oh, he must be gay. And it's like,
that's what they said.
It's like, knock it off. No, you know what? He just loves his pets.
Yes, I agree. What they said was ridiculous for the reason.
Like, dang, man.
But Shannon, why'd you jump out that car looking like that?
Look, leave Shannon Sharp alone. Leave Shannon Sharp alone. I love me some Shannon Sharp.
Shannon's cool, but they caught you slipping,
we
dog.
will not be bashing Shannon Sharp on this podcast.
They caught you slipping.
No,
my God.
No, sir.
We do appreciate. We do like Shannon Sharp over here, guys. We're supporters for sure.
I am a big fan of Shannon Sharp. When he first started on Undisputed, I'm not a big sports person, but I would record it every single day and watch it just because he was on it, to support him in his position on the show. Couldn't stand Skip, but really, really enjoyed Shannon Sharp. I'm so glad now that he's doing his own thing, because I watch him and Ocho every single day as well. So I love Shannon Sharp. No Shannon Sharp bashing. It is not approved.
I'm gonna bash you a little bit, but it's no love lost.
But he
Yeah,
loves
guys.
his dogs.
He loves his
He
dogs.
loves his dogs. And just
And
because
many
he
people
loves,
feel that way.
And just because he loves his dogs doesn't make him gay. Just
Exactly.
because he said the girl would have to go if she didn't like the dog, he just loves, he's loyal. I mean, how come it's not that? He's loyal
and that's
to
what it is.
he loves.
That's what it is.
That should be a plus. And if it's just not for you, it's just not for you.
Thank you.
It doesn't make him gay.
Exactly.
It's like, stop.
Now, if you caught Shannon, okay, I'm not gonna say all that, but that is not what making some. That's not what being gay is, guys. That's ignorant, really. At the end of the day, it's just not for you. And really, you're mad that you don't have a spot. That's what you're really mad about.
That's what you're mad about.
You're mad because you're not good enough.
Well, yeah, well.
I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, I guess
that's what
so.
it is.
I
He
mean,
said you're not good at it. You feel like, how's that dog better than me?
Better than me, yeah. And you know what? It's so silly because it has nothing to do with that. Just like the dog. Yes, the dog in the bed, not everybody likes that. My pup, her head will be on the pillow and she will be under the covers.
See, guys, I'm not.
Okay, that's me and that's my thing. And if it's not for you, it's just not for you. It's fine.
I'm not with that, guys. It's like you wake up, your eyes all pink the next morning. It's like,
that's ridiculous. No, that's
I don't
ridiculous.
like it. And on second thought, like I said, the dog has to be well mannered. Because, and that's another thing. I don't want to wake up and this mofo is licking my face. I'm very not myself or not my best self in the mornings. So, you might wake up, the dog's like,
what is that?
Because I don't pop. Because I don't pop the dog, and it was just reflex,
You know what? Cosmic is a very good dog babysitter. He takes care of her when I have to travel for whatever reason and she can't go, or I want to do a quick trip. He is a good dog babysitter, so don't let him fool you.
How would you know you're not here? It's like, what?
You better not be mean to my pup.
Well, there's no reason for me to be mean because it's already established. You stay in your area, I stay in my area. Sometimes if I'm hanging out in the living room, she'll decide, I'm gonna come hang out. Not always. Usually she's in her depressive mode and she just sits on the stairs
when I'm not there.
Right. Mm-hmm. But if she feels like she wants to come hang out, she'll come hang out, but she knows she can't act crazy with me like she does with you. She doesn't do all that jumping all over all over me. And if I tell her to get down, she gets down. If I tell her chill, she's gonna chill. It's very, it's cool. See, it's cool when you're not here. But once you get here, she acts like she has no sense because you let, like she said, she just lets the dog run rampant. You guys, it's chaos. It's very frustrating.
It's chaos, ridiculous.
It's chaos for me. It's chaotic.
She plays and she jumps and we have fun and that's all she's doing. Her and I just have a blast together.
I'm not a fun person, actually. As you guys will find out, I'm not really big on fun. But
I'll be laughing and joking and stuff with her and throwing things, and she'll bring them back to me, and I'll just be having a good old time. Cosmic will come in and say, "Who are you talking to?" And talking to Saddie. Me and Saddie are just having a good time. I love my pup, and I know dog owners feel the same. Did you know that the percentage of dog owners, the highest is millennials?
I believe it.
Mm-hmm, it is.
I believe it because they have a lot of them have issues. So a lot of those dogs are emotional support dogs.
Oh, you think that's what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you think they have more emotional support animals than others?
Because your generation messed them up, and they're the first rebels of the.
Oh my God! Look, just blame the parents. Boy, I tell you, these kids just blame the parents.
They're the first rebels of the whole. We're not getting down with the old way of doing things and of being. Millennials kicked that off. Gen Z's running, really Generation Alpha's running wild with it. But, you know, millennials walked so we could run, for sure. And, you know, they're the ones who came up with this whole, oh, I'm triggered, and, that's toxic. And therapy and mental health, I think therapy and mental health is a great thing. That's a great thing that came out of it. I'm just simply saying that they're the first ones who came out with the whole, you know, because they didn't like the way that they were brought up, or for whatever reason, it made them, I want to say soft, but
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
It made them, yeah. You see that across a lot of millennials. That's where all of this new stuff that's going off the rails now.
This new age way of being.
Right, this new age stuff, it all started with the millennials.
And you know, it's so funny because if a millennial or younger is listening to this, they'll think, like, what do you mean?
Right.
Because when I was coming up, our parents didn't play that. It's just, you know, it is what it is, and you go suck it up and keep it moving.
See, right, millennials are the ones who are like, yeah, that's not cool. They went through it, but at the end of the, you know, in their adulthood, they said, you know, we're not going to take on that persona and that those ideologies.
I'm not necessarily saying that that it's a bad thing. It's not really a good thing either. It's just different. It's different. It's a different way of being, you know, because it is important to be aware. And if you need some sort of a support animal to assist you or to make you feel better about whatever it is the situation is, then of course, by all means. And isn't that wonderful that a dog can bring that to someone?
If that's what they need, if that's what it takes for you to feel like life is worth living, I'm all for it. It's just, you know, I don't want to be your friend, boo. That's all I'm saying.
You don't even want to be friends with somebody?
I mean, yeah. Okay, yeah. No,
okay.
I'll reel that back. Like, we can go out.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I just don't want to go to your house. That's all. I don't want to hang out like that. But we can do stuff. Like, you know, we could be friends. It's just we're not. We'll talk about this on another podcast. But you know, in order how I view friendship, I'm not good at, I just deal with this person on this level for this, and I just deal with this person on this level for that.
Oh, it's just all or nothing.
I'm very all encompassing. Yeah, you know, like when you jump into this water, you know, you're in the deep. So it's like there is no like, 3 feet, 5 feet, 8 feet, 9. You see what I'm saying? You know, if you're just in the ocean, you know, everything that comes with it. Otherwise, I don't really see the point for you there. Like I said, guys, I'm not a super socially dependent person. I would love to have, you know, a really good, strong social bond with people, but that's just not that's not how life's playing out. And I'm very okay with it. You know, it's like when I want you around, I really want you there. But other than that, whether you're here or not, I'm good.
That's why you feel the way you do about dogs, I think, because dogs require your attention.
Yes.
All the time. But you know what? Some dogs are not that way.
And that's true. Like
Some
I
dogs
said,
are not that way. I think, again, it depends on the rearing of the dog.
Right.
My dog has always been around me ever since I got her when she was, I think, 8 weeks old. And she's always been around me. So for her, it's like, it is just the norm. It is the norm to be on mom's lap. She's a lap dog.
You know, you say, oh, they're like kids. How would you feel if you saw somebody's kid who their mom couldn't walk into the kitchen from the living room without them acting a fool? What would you say?
You used to be like that. You used to be like that until you were about 3.
Oh, okay, 3.
Yeah. You did.
Okay, she's pushing about 7 or 8 now.
No, she just turned 6 in May.
Okay, 6-year-old can't be alone for 5 minutes. What would you say about that kid?
What do you mean? I don't know.
You know what you said.
No.
Don't like that.
I don't know.
Oh,
No, look.
she's putting on for the cameras.
No, listen.
I'm playing.
It's because, but you know what? Pets are that way. Pets follow
See
you
the
around
excuse?
the house.
That's what I'm talking about.
But
the excuses.
But they do.
Just be real.
Pets want to be in your presence. That's it. Why is that bad?
No, dogs. And I'm saying, because like I said, cats, hell, the cat could be downstairs, you're upstairs, vice versa. I know you're here, you know I'm here, you know where I'm at if you need me.
What is wrong with the dog following you to the house?
I know where you're at if you... I don't like that. I am a person...
What does it have to do with you?
I am a person, I need my space. I need my space. Not only is the dog following you, but it wants your attention. That's why it's following you in the first place. I'm a person, I need my space. I need a moment in time where it is just me. And I am just, I don't have to think about him, her, or it. I don't want that.
Well, listen, keep in mind that your pet has a person, right? Your pet has a person. So if it's...
What do you mean?
What I mean is that if there are 5 people who live in the household, okay, your dog has this one primary person that they are attached to. So everybody else, they're there and they'll go and play with them and stuff like that. But every pet has a person. So even though you might, like, say you dated someone or that had a dog, you really like the person, you decided to date them. The dog's not going to really mess with you like that because it's her dog. Yes, if you throw something to it, it'll, fetch and all that kind of stuff. But the girl or the person is their person.
And what is this relevance to?
That means that you can have a dog in the house and still chill if you are not that dog's primary person. Just like you are here with Saddie, right? Saddie follows me around the house. You're here and she'll go over to you, especially when you're eating and, beg for stuff.
Which is I really don't want you there at that point.
Yeah, but that's my fault because I didn't train her not to do that. So that's my fault. It's not the dog's fault. It's my fault. That's kind of how that works.
I'm not into it, guys. I like people more than animals, period. But
you know what's funny? I like animals more than I do people.
See, I'm not that way, which is crazy because I'm supposed to like, given my personality type, I'm supposed to like animals more than I like people, but I really don't. I like people. I care more about people. Animals, I care, but not that much. Not to the extent in which I do people.
You know what? Pets never disappoint. Pets never disappoint. People, on the other hand, is a whole different story.
But you can only expect so much from a pet. It's almost like, to me,
true.
that's ridiculous.
You can't have
it's
a
almost,
conversation,
but this is what I'm saying. It's like I said, and this kind of applies to what I said earlier. I don't look for even in people. I don't look for, oh, you provide this one thing for me. Mm-hmm. It's no, I am immersed in everything that you are. I hope you're the same with me, and we're cool. We're cohesive.
That's how I feel
you
about
are
Saddie.
you are multifaceted to me.
Yeah.
So I can see how some people have a dog and like they're great for this or they're great for that or they're great for this. I'd rather deal with people. It's just me. I think it's just kind of like how some people would rather read or watch nonfiction as opposed to fiction. I'm assuming I'm trying to make a comparison that's probably what it's like. I just rather deal with people, and then I would rather deal with a person than put human emotions and thoughts onto this animal. I kind of feel like it's an imaginary friend at that point. It's there, but how you're mentally processing it is not really real to me, and that's just I could be flawed, and that's just how I feel right now. Let me sleep on. Let me let some snow fall on it, and I'll see how I feel next year.
Well, you know what? I can understand you saying that and feeling like that because I used to feel the same exact way. Mm-hmm. Again, about my best friend and her little dog. Mm-hmm. The dog ran away. And boy, you would have thought that her mom and dad had just passed away in a car accident. She was just broke down and just sobbing about this dog. And I just thought to myself, like, it's a dog. This is ridiculous. But you know what? Because I didn't understand it. I didn't have a dog at the time. So I didn't get it. But I got to tell you guys, if something happened to my dog, boy, I'd have have to take leave. I'd have to take leave for a couple of weeks, to recover. So I completely understand.
See, and I think that that's so ridiculous, guys. If you have not watched College Hill, I am very much like Jocelyn Hernandez. Tiffany Pollard came up to Jocelyn, or I don't know how the interaction went down. But Tiffany ends up telling Jocelyn how, she's been grieving and her daughter just passed and she's so upset. She's just been out of her wits in these last few months. And Jocelyn just starts bawling. She's so upset, Jocelyn's a strong personality type person, she's bawling, she's upset. I would, and I very much would have felt the same way, oh my God, I can't believe it. Why did she find out later on in the episode she's talking about her damn dog? Jocelyn was so pissed off. Like, you have me over here crying behind some fucking dog. I'd be pissed. I'd be so pissed. Talking about it was your daughter. Why you? So like, you see how you just see? That's your fault. How you feel right there? That's on you. Because that's delusional. That wasn't your daughter. That was your pet. So now you're experiencing a grief 10 times harder than you would have if you never played yourself like that.
I wouldn't go that far now.
That's how I feel.
I wouldn't tell somebody that my daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
That's what, man.
But if something did happen to my pup, or I had to put her down for some reason, or she got lost, I would just be an emotional wreck. I really would be. So
Tiffany Pollard is in full-on grief. Like, to this day, she talks about how, I'm just trying to make it day by day. And like, this was like a real person that she lost in her life that, is the reason why, they turned their life around, or, they gave them, they always had the most encouraging things to say, it was just like, this person was like a huge staple, like, in your life and in your development. This is how broke down she is. But, to each his own. I'm very much a big believer in, your 10 might not be a 10 to me, but I can respect and empathize that you are feeling a 10. And I'll level with you on that. So, with that being said, to each his own, but ridiculous. Dogs are not people. And I would suggest, if you're not too deep in the rabbit hole already, don't be delusional, guys. Always be, you can have your feelings, but don't ever let your feelings jade your logic.
I do not think it's delusion, but that's my opinion. I think it is love, and a lot of people out there have a lot of love to give. And why not? Why not make a pet a part of the family and bestow some of that love upon them? I don't think it's delusion at all. I am very open when it comes to that, and I think you can have all the pets in the world that you want as long as you can take care of them.
Yeah, if that's what you want to do with your, your life and your money and your time. We saw this guy on YouTube. He feeds like 50 raccoons.
Right.
Outside.
He has names for them and everything.
And he's like, guys, he's probably spending money on like 100 pounds of food a day. I've never seen raccoons so fat before. Mm-hmm. They're eating good over there.
And another guy does it with the deer. He does the same thing. They're all waiting for him in the morning when he opens the garage. That's like so awesome to me.
Back to the girl that, I was dating for that very short period of time. That is something I did like about her, the fact that she cared about nature. It's very something that wasn't me. And, I liked it. I do see value in it. I just understand that it's not something I can be like super attached to. It's like the sun, It's like you need the sun, but you get too close or you're out in it too long. It's gonna have adverse effects.
Yeah.
So I admire people who are like that. Everybody, everything, and everybody needs somebody, but it's not me. Look, like Suki said, you need to find out who your friends are. but it's not me. It's not me.
Yeah. Well, I'm like, again, I used to feel like you, so I understand where you're coming from. I really do. But there was a shift in that belief system for me. I'm so glad that it happened because it kind of opened up a whole other area that was not opened. So I'm thinking about getting an African gray. So that might be my next.
You guys see this? It's like just noise. She just likes noise. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. It's just overstimulating. She just, yeah.
So
pray for me.
Yeah. So thank you guys for hanging out with us today.
Yeah, guys, thank you for joining in on another episode of In the Deep. We didn't go incredibly deep here on this episode, but it is a very relevant topic for all of you guys out there. Some of you might be thinking about getting a dog. Some of you might be like me, where you're like, dogs aren't my thing. But maybe you heard something today that made you, change your mind on that. I don't know. Let us know down in the comments. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and TikTok for as long as TikTok is going to be here. Like and subscribe, guys, and ring the notification bell to let you know when our next episodes post. And that is all I have for you guys today. Anything else for a twist?
Nothing else for me, guys. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
All right, guys, gone.
That was good.